Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. I'm your host, Rick Blood, and we're going to dive right into it because I got to tell you, of course, the way that I tape and air these shows, I tape on Thursday usually, I air the following Tuesday. So it was actually 2 weekends ago that I had such a great weekend. Took a trip over to the coast, got a hotel room in York, Maine, went to Portland, strolled around Portland on Saturday morning for a while, took a nice drive down the coast, rest of the Saturday afternoon driving down the coast, had a nice dinner in York, complete with a lovely craft beer from Portland. Got up Sunday morning, got some fantastic shots of sunrise. And I gotta tell you, 15 minutes on the beach during sunrise on Sunday morning was worth the entire trip, let me tell you. The sky lit up, it was beautiful colors. And actually, here, I'll lay in a few photos, a couple photos for you to see right here while I'm talking and getting to these Facebook posts that I had, some comments from last week's show. So we'll start with them. So those are nice pictures, huh? Let me tell you. Gorgeous day. So my ex-wife commented, and I know it was my ex-wife because she signed it, the plaintiff. Yeah. She says, on the subject of school days, there has been studies done that show an adolescent brain retains more information later in the day. Why is it so hard to get kids to go to bed early? Because their brains are still active. She points out that we raised a night owl. Actually, we raised a couple of night owls who were up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then again, they didn't want to get up early in the morning. But we couldn't get them to go to sleep. So what can you do? You can't hit kids over the head with a hammer anymore. You can't just pump them full of like Benadryl to get them to go to sleep. But while it works, it's not quite moral. For a good parent, that is. She thinks that the school days should begin later, from kindergarten to 6th grade. And I'll buy that. The younger the kids, the less they can retain at any one time. So lesson plans should be shorter. The days should be broken up, a number of recesses, not just one, but 2 or 3 recesses spread out, over the course of 6 hours or so. And that little kids take longer to absorb stuff because their heads are so small. That's how you can tell. Small head takes longer for the stuff to get in until, and they have to have a break. Little kids need a break. Little kids, you teach for 15 minutes, you let them play for 5 minutes. You teach them for 15 minutes, you let them play for 5 minutes. I think it gets out all that energy that they build up sitting there in the 15 minutes. And believe me, kids can build up a tremendous amount of energy sitting still for 15 minutes. It festers in them or something. So Jane says maybe second year high school could begin to do a normal work day. And she says, yes, other countries do go to school all year long, and she agrees with that point. And again, she signed it, Peace, the plaintiff, which was why I knew it was her. So, other countries go to school year round. You actually, it doesn't necessarily mean that the kids learn more. It just gives them more time to absorb what they're learning. And again, if you do something only once a week, you're not going to get as proficient as if you did it every single day. That's the point. I mean, there's a, on top of, you hear people talk about muscle memory. And it's the same way with the whole learning memory, the absorption rates. You do something every single day, and it eventually gets ingrained and it becomes natural. Yeah. I used to read every single day. And then there was a time when I wasn't reading every single day. And now you know something? I don't think I could get back into the habit of reading every single day. Anything substantial. Because I'm out of that muscle memory kind of thing, So yeah, the more you do stuff, the better. Oh, here's a question I've been wanting to know. What the hell ever happened to the president's physical fitness test? Any of you folks remember that? I know you older folks may remember it. Where at the beginning of the school year, you go in, you do a physical fitness test, you see how many pull-ups you can do and how many push-ups you can do and how many sit-ups you can do and how fast you can run around the gym. Or there was a whole list of stuff that you did, and they wrote down your scores. And then at the end of the year, you took the same test to see how much you've improved. What happened to that? I don't think they do it anymore. And it's probably because, yes, the heavier, less coordinated kids had a rough time. And maybe people call them slow or call them chubby or fatso or whatever. The typical bully stuff. And this stuff still goes on in school without gym class. But at the end of the year, when those chubby kids saw improvement, it made them feel good. And why wouldn't it? It blows my mind. Again, probably, well, it's too hard for some people to do physical education. No, it's not too hard for people to do physical education. It's hard for a paraplegic to do physical education. Or a quadriplegic. If Billy's got no arms and no legs, well, of course he's excused from gym class. But kids should be forced into physical education in school. I won't say every day, but I will say 3 times a week. It's the mind, body, soul thing. Well, in the schools, we've thrown out soul altogether. We don't care about your soul. And lately, we don't much care about the body, other than the fact that we're going to make sure that you only eat the stuff that we think you should eat. No, it's feed them healthy food. Make them exercise 3 times a week. I got to tell you, I never felt more physically fit than when I was in boot camp in the service. And every single morning, as soon as you rolled out of the bed, you did 15 minutes worth of calisthenics. Sometimes 20, sometimes 30, depending on how many guys got in trouble that morning. That's the way it's done in the military. Physical education is doled out on a punishment basis. If you screw up, guess what? You're doing push-ups. If you do something wrong, you're doing push-ups. And not only are you doing push-ups, but you and your entire squad are doing push-ups. That way, they all know who's at fault for them doing push-ups unnecessarily. So there's a whole peer kind of a thing, If you weren't going to straighten yourself out, by all means, the guys in your squad were going to straighten you out because they didn't like taking the punishment for the stuff that you did. All right, let me get on to the other remarks, because one of the other things I talked about last week was personal responsibility. And I mentioned my great weekend. One of the things that made it great was I spent zero time with any news. I was just going about doing my thing, without the news. I was listening to tunes on the radio about the ocean, like Jimmy Buffett and those kind of make me want to go out to the sea kind of songs. No news, and I felt so great. And when I got back and started watching the news, I saw about the protesters at the Trump rally and everybody screaming and the people saying the Bernie Sanders camp sent them and the Democrat Party sent them, and for all we know, the Republican Party probably sent them. And there was, it escalated, it got out of hand. And again, it's just personal responsibility. I talk about opinions all the time because this show is my opinions. They don't have to be your opinions, and I don't care if they're your opinions or not. You've probably got your own opinions, and they're probably very valid, and I respect your opinions. And that's what it all comes down to, is respect and tolerance. I'm not going to beat you up because of your opinions. That's stupid. What does that solve? Doesn't solve anything. While yes, it's nice if everybody in the whole world could agree on at least one thing, but you can't get 10 people in a room and have them agree on anything, really. It's just the way people are. You're never going to get an overall consensus of everybody agreeing to anything. I mean, there's probably still people out there that if you got 20 people in a room, told them the sky was blue, there would be a couple that say, no, the sky's not blue. I don't know. It upsets me, though. If you've got an opinion, hold your opinion, voice your opinion. The point is, do not turn your opinions into actions. And when you get in invading people's personal space with your message, and I don't mean personal space at arm's length or 4 feet away or 6 feet away. I mean personal space like inches away. Because I would take that as a threat. And survival mode kicks in. You threaten me, guess who's going to win? Me. Sounds weird. But even you hardcore pacifists out there, if it comes down to you or somebody else, what's your choice going to be? If somebody walks up and gets in your face with a knife, says, I'm going to stab you and kill you to death, are you going to hug him? Probably not, because I don't think that'll work. You're going to fight, and you're going to fight for your life. And I'll tell you, if I am ever in a situation where it's me or somebody else, I will unleash violence and carnage like nobody has ever seen. That's just the way it is. And I'm not talking about all life, or any life, let me say any life that has any type of a brain, has survival mode, survival instincts, kill or be killed thinking inside them. So, as well, I had to get that off my chest because it drives me nuts. And at this point, I think our problem is government. They're the ones that are dividing us. They're the ones that are saying, if you like the blue guys or visit the red guys, then you're a racist. If you like the blue guys, well, then you're cool. Or, and then the other guys are saying, well, if you like the blue guys, we hate you. It's stupid. It's stupid. We've replaced racism with politicism. That's the hatred for the Democrats or the Republicans. And no, I'm not a politicist. I hate all of them. There's not a good goddamn politician out there anywhere. The only thing on their mind is power, their power, and money. They don't give a half a crap about you folks sitting at home and the struggles that you're going through, because the politicians are so far removed from your struggles that they can't even understand. All right, let me get to back to Mark's comments because I'm getting down on time. He liked that I was talking about personal responsibility, and he brought up the fact, he says, I agree with you when you say you need to take personal responsibility for your life. My dad always used to say, as did mine, or my dad used to say similar type stuff, your life will not be handed to you on a silver platter. I'll add in, money doesn't grow on trees. You need to pull up your bootstraps, find something you're good at, and make a living out of it. I think that way of thinking has gone to hell these days. People think they are entitled to certain things when they are unemployed or on welfare Section 8. Good point, Mark. Because, I hate people that talk about they can't get by. They have such huge financial struggles, but when you walk in their house, they've got a 65-inch color TV and 3 iPhones and 2 iPads and all kinds of damn stuff. If you bought a 19-inch TV, maybe you could afford food. I know, people can't live without their 60-inch TV. That's crap, because I grew up with a 12-inch black and white TV, and every time I complained to my dad and said, how do the neighbors have color TVs? My dad would say, you're goddamn lucky you got black and white TV, because when I was young, we just had black. Yeah, TV is not a necessity. Maybe an AM radio is a necessity for local information and weather. Then again, if you stick your head out the window or the door, you can pretty much guess what the weather is. All right. Mark says, I don't think people try hard anymore to get a fulfilling job that pays enough money to support them. He says, I don't mean enough money to keep up with the Joneses or the Trumps, but enough money to live, period. And yeah, living wages is a hard thing to come by these days, in part because these companies and corporations have to retain their profit level. God forbid, instead of getting 30% profit or for 60% profit, they only get 20% profit. Oil companies kill me, man. These oil companies that report $400 billion in profits every quarter. A quarter is 3 months for you people that aren't into the new Common Core math, or that are into the new Common Core math. A quarter is 3 months. $400 billion in profits. And they want to move all their stuff. They want to move all their work to countries so they don't have to pay 16, 17, 18 bucks an hour for their labor. Because Jesus, that might just cut into that $400 billion. So over the course of a year, 4 quarters, that's $400 billion times 4, that's like over $1 trillion in profits every year. So, and yeah, people settle in jobs that they hate. And it's horrible. I know, I did for 40 years or 30 years until I found the job that I'm in now, which I love. And if they ever asked me to take a pay cut to stay in this job, you know something? I would do it. Because I'm good at my job. I love my job. I like what I do. And that's the most important thing, finding something that you like to do. Okay, let's see. Where are we, Mark? Mark says, will it happen on the first job you ever get? It's doubtful. He's referring to the fact that people don't get money, living wage. Probably won't happen on your first, probably won't happen on your second, or maybe even your third. But you have to keep moving forward. And a lot of the problem is that people aren't ambitious enough to climb that ladder. Mark says, I know you think higher education is not helpful, but it helps. It helps you to make a choice at a career you will enjoy and do well at it. Isn't it worth it? Yes. Unfortunately, by the time kids are of college age, they should already have some idea of a course that they would like to take. That's why it's so important. And while I'm not real big on reality shows, because being in the TV business, I know that reality shows aren't so real. But shows like Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe and Deadliest Catch and these veterinarian TV shows, or I think Spike has some shows about jails. It shows what corrections officers deal with. And all these shows are important for younger kids. Kids that are in upper middle school and lower high school. That's the kind of stuff that they need to be exposed to in order to go, oh yeah, hey, I watched Northwood's Law, and I really think I could be a good game warden. When I was a kid, you never thought really of being a game warden, because if you told people, yeah, I want to work outdoors, I want to work with animals, and I want to work with, they would go, you can't make any money doing that. But you can make money doing that. I mean, there's not millions of game warden jobs. Every state only has so many game wardens in it. So, and they probably get, thousands more candidates than what they actually hire. But you need to be exposed to all those different things so that you can make a choice and find something that interests you to go on to study. Yeah. If you say you want to be on a pit crew for NASCAR, that's your dream job. Your goal is to be that guy that can hit 5 lug nuts in half a second. College probably won't help you with that. It's going to be, all day practicing with that lug wrench. It's as simple as that. But yeah, kids need to be exposed to more career choices and have the time to develop interests in where they want to go. I got to keep an eye on my time. And then Mark says you used to be able to walk down Main Street of Keene or anywhere and say hello to somebody without having to notice that, they've got their earbuds in or they're looking down at their screen or something. And people are just way too distracted these days to even know what reality is. Mark says, go out and enjoy some reality, folks. That's Mark's advice to all of you this week. Go out and enjoy some reality. And I tell you, Mark, standing on that beach, that was as real as it got, baby, when that sky just lit up with the colors. Pfft. Yeah, almost made me want to say there is a God. And then at the end of Mark's comment, he added a little meme that says, when I was a kid, you didn't need to say, don't try this at home, because we weren't a bunch of morons. We knew you don't jump off the roof with a sheet or umbrella. You know, we all grew up watching Mary Poppins. Every person my age, when they were a little kid, saw Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, and she floated down on an umbrella. Well, granted, I'm sure there were a couple people that tried to jump off the roof with an umbrella. But, you know, it never even dawned, you know, it never even crossed my mind that you can float with an umbrella. So, yeah, we knew better than that. All right, geez, I didn't pull up the facts page, and I've only got under 2 minutes. I was gonna rail. I actually did an entire show. I'm taping this on Thursday morning. I actually got a jump, and I did an entire Unfiltered show yesterday afternoon. And when I loaded it into the computer, the audio was all messed up because somebody had been playing with one of the cameras here in the studio, and I hadn't noticed. So I got to come back, and I tried to recreate it. I didn't do such a good job because I was really tweaked yesterday afternoon. So this is actually probably better. But I would not submit you to the stuff that I was doing yesterday. But let me whip up the facts. I'll give you a couple just before I go because I'm under a minute. How about this one? You spend 7 years of your life in the bathroom. That's right, 7 years. The top 3 health-related searches on the internet are, in this order, depression, allergies, and cancer. Depression, the number 1 searched health-related search on the internet. Here's one that might make you feel better. Most dust particles in your house are made from dead skin. It might not make you feel better. Here's a great one. Oak trees do not produce acorns until they are 50 years of age or older. Just goes to show you, us old folks can still get it done. My timer just went off. That's it for this week. Till next week, I'm Rick Blood. This is Unfiltered. Peace.